welcome back. This will be part 2 of our 2-part series on the Zoom app. Again, this is accessible both via a Macintosh MacBook or via your Windows PC. I am making these recordings on a MacBook, but I am making reference to several different separate options that are available on the Windows side that may look a little different. So, nonetheless, in our previous video, we were talking about the settings about how to get to recording or placing your recorded videos onto Google Drive, and how you can do that easily within the Zoom app and have that done immediately without having to break off and save it in one place and then upload it separately in the drive. Now, I do want to preface that comment with the fact that you would need to have Google Drive file stream installed and enabled in order for that to happen. There is a series of videos within our Marysville Technology page that we have here on YouTube about Google Drive and transferring your files up to there, as well as how to install and how to use Google Drive file stream. I recommend taking a look at that. It is a playlist. I have those in there as well, and it takes just a couple of minutes to download that software and install it. And then again, the walkthrough shows you how you can interact then with Google Drive file stream. But again, that would be a requirement for you to be able to get those recordings to go straight up into Drive right out of your Zoom app. So, part 2 of our 2-part series here, we're going to talk about how to actually start and record those meetings and end the recordings and what all it does with the recording afterwards. So, we're in the Zoom app here on my desktop, and you'll notice you have some options up here at the top: home, chat, meetings, and contacts. And then you have some icons here to start a new meeting, to join a meeting, to schedule a meeting, or to just share your screen. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and initiate a new meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and start that, and I'm going to bring my Zoom window up here so that you can see it. I am going to turn my video off so we save a little bit of bandwidth here. And I'm going to join with computer audio and mute my microphone. But I am going to bring this one up here as soon as I exit out of full screen. Do apologize, and bring it up here into view. So when you are in the meeting, you'll notice that I did note in my last video about that elapsed time of the meeting. That does appear up here at the top. Zoom has made some changes. You no longer will see the meeting ID up here in the top of the window. In order to get that, if you would need to get that to give to participants, you would need to look under the invite portion, which would be under, where did it go? They moved my invite. You would need to get that from the invite portion of the app and be able to share that meeting ID with them. Unless it is, there it is. They've moved it up here into the information window. So there's the meeting ID and the password then for you to let someone in or get them in. You can copy the URL. It does have the password embedded. It is hashed, but it is embedded in that link. That's a completely different issue, totally aside. So once you are in here, you will notice at the bottom in the menu bar of the Zoom app here, we have the option to record. So when we click on that, it's going to ask you, do you want to record on this computer or record it to the cloud? We're going to record it on this computer. And I know that seems counterproductive to what we've already talked about, which is utilizing Google Drive file stream, which is in the cloud. But what we're doing is we're going to record it on this computer, but it's going to save it into the cloud for us. This reference here, this record to the cloud, is the actual Zoom cloud that they have, and that gets exhausted very quickly. We don't want to utilize that. We have Drive file stream, we have Google Drive available, which pretty much has unlimited storage. So we're going to use that record on this computer option. So when I click that, it starts the recording. It says, hey, you're muted. Yeah, I know I am. I'm going to record this. Actually, I will unmute myself because it'll generate an audio file for us later. But it does record the meeting. It will record screen sharing. So I'm going to share my desktop, and it'll be a never-ending show of both of them. So that screen share is happening right now. And then when I end that screen share, I hit stop share, brings my meeting window back. And so on and so forth. Now, you have an instance where you need to pause the recording to personally address with one student or whatever, or work on something with a particular student. You can do that by pressing the pause recording button. You'll notice that it says recording paused up here at the top. And then you can also then resume that recording, and it'll pick up right where it left off, and it will keep that then as one file. If you hit stop recording and start again, it will create a separate new file within that folder when we're done, and can kind of go from there. So that's in a nutshell, starting and stopping recordings. Just a couple of things that have popped up new within our screens here. You'll notice under security, there is an option that you'll probably want to make certain is turned off. You want to make sure that screen share is turned off for participants. We have it turned off by default, but just to double check that it's not there. And then I honestly would consider changing this so that they can't rename themselves once they're in the meeting. Now, we have seen some instances where students are joining from an iPad or an Android phone or tablet or an iPhone because that's what mom and dad have access to, and that's perfectly fine. But we're noticing that they're coming in with the names iPad and iPhone and things like that rather than their actual name. I'm going to address that with a series of videos for parents here yet this weekend, hopefully, and be able to get you guys some fuel to send out to them. There is a way for those parents or students to change the name on the app so that it comes in with their name. Again, security-wise, we want to be able to know who it is that's come into the meeting room or into the waiting room so that we know whether or not it's safe to let those people in. So, again, I think that's it in a nutshell. Oh, wanted to tell you where you can find those. So we're going to hit stop recording. So now that I'm done with that and the meeting is over, we're going to hit end meeting. And we're going to end meeting for all, which will kick everyone out of the meeting at that point. And it's going to come up and say, hey, you have a meeting that needs to be converted. It's going to convert that file, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to pause my recording and let this finish, and I'll come right back to you here in just a few minutes. All right, so now that conversion is finished, I'm going to show you what it does. So in here, I'm going to pull this in, and you're going to notice that it creates a folder with today's date, the time, and also mevsd.us, personal meeting room, and then it says the meeting ID number. And inside this folder, you're going to see where it has an audio only, a playback file, as well as the MP4. So the MP4 is the video, and if I were to open that in VLC, you would see the, if I right click on it and go open with, let me tell it to open there. So there it is. You'll see the video recording going on there in the background with me sharing the screen and everything, so on and so forth. It comes back to there. So that's the video portion. Now, what this did though is this saved this in your Google Drive, and I can prove that to you by clicking here. This gives me the breadcrumb trail, and you'll notice that inside of my Google Drive, as I go back, we're in my Google Drive, we're in the district videos folder and the tutorial videos folder, and then as I come over here, there is the folder right here that tells me, hey, this was the video that I created of my meeting session. Now, obviously, the longer your meeting session is, the larger the files will be. But again, I wanted to note to you that it does have an audio-only portion, a playback track, as well as the actual MP4 file. Now, if you were to have chat going on in your meeting, there also would be a text file in here that is a transcript of that chat. It would also appear in the same exact folder. So, that in a nutshell is how you get those out. At that point, you could share this via Google Drive to your students or the parents, however you want to get that out to them, and they could review your content then from there. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. 937-578-6156 is my number, or you can reach me through email at billy.ruhlen, RUHLEN, @mevsd.us. Have a great day, guys. Happy Zooming, and I hope you all stay safe. Thanks.